Hello fellows, we are back with another video. My cat chewed my HDMI cord, so I'm recording this on my small laptop screen, so hopefully I can see the screen well enough. But here we go anyways, we're going to check out the standings. Looks like the Magic are 43-9 atop the East. Obviously they're running the same lineup that they've been running for a while with Zion. They got Rick Mullins in there, Şengün, Clint Capella. The Bulls dropped to the 2 seed after a great start. SGA and Embiid carrying. The Cavs are in the 3 spot. I can't remember if they made some more trades to mix it up or not, but they have Ayton and Giannis. The Nets are in the 4 spot with Jalen Green and Paolo Banchero. The Hornets are up to the 5 seed with Maxey and Barnes. And then the Sixers are in the 6th spot with Morant. Followed by that, we have the Pistons, Hawks, Knicks, Wizards, Celtics, Pacers, Heat, Raptors, and Bucks. The Celtics fell a ton after their best player, Lauren Barnes, got hurt, which is crazy. It looks like the Mavs are the top spot out west. Let's go. Despite a Scoot Henderson injury, Jalen Duren and Chet Holmgren are absolutely carrying. In the 2 spot, we have the reigning champion Jazz with Luka and Garrison Moss. Phoenix is in the 3 spot with all-star Colin Freeman, as well as Jarrett Allen and Simons, who they just traded for prior to the sim, I believe. Then Houston, who was the 1 seed, has fallen all the way down to the 4 seed with Jokic and the Thompson brothers. Portland stays in the 5 seed. I believe they were in the 5 seed last sim, with Giddey and Tatum. And then the Lakers are in the 6th spot with Cade Cunningham. The Lakers have a new GM, by the way. They're one of a couple of teams who have a new GM at this point. In the 7th spot, we have the Warriors, followed by the Sonics, Kings, Nuggets, Outlaws, Grizzlies, Thunder, and Spurs, with the Wolves to round it out as the worst record. The Wolves have lost 15 in a row. So it's an all-out tank to get one of those top couple of picks this year. I guess we'll take a look at draft picks now. Speaking of picks, the Bucks with a bunch of picks, the Bulls with a good amount, surprisingly. But Kruening is a good GM, so yeah. The Hawks with the most picks in the league here. Just an absolute ton of picks. The Heat have a good amount. The Hornets, I believe, have all of their own picks. Kings have most of their own picks. The Knicks have a good amount of picks. The Lakers have a few. Do the Nets have all their picks? The Nets don't make very many trades. Pacers have all their picks, I believe. Spurs with a lot of picks. Thunder with a lot. The Thunder are the only team without a GM right now because Meat switched over to GM the Lakers, I believe. So we will try to find them a GM. Let's take a look at contract extensions here. Looks like no one wants to extend for the Sixers. Same with the Bucks. For the Bulls, Tyus Jones will re-sign for a minimum. Fuller will resign for the Sonics for 9. Cole Anthony and Blake Wesley are willing to extend for the Grizzlies. Gary Trent will re-sign for the Hawks. Kyrie and Boston will both re-sign for the Heat. A lot of guys here for the Hornets. I can't remember if all of these were in the video last time, but Scotty Barnes willing to extend is big. Noah Clowney for the Jazz. Oops, I missed one. Who is that? DeJounte. That's a big one for the Knicks. Lonzo, Cade, and Sochan still willing to re-sign for the Lakers. Eklund, Dermanenko, and Drummond for the Magic. Isaiah Jackson, who I will do right now for the Mavs. Jalen Green, Ousmane Deng, and Davion Mitchell for the Nets. feel like the Nets have been a pretty solid team for a couple of years with Jalen Green. They're probably just one or two pieces away from really making a push at the title. A lot here for the Pistons. Gordon, Wiggins, Fultz, Herter, and Bridges. No one on the Raptors. Dante DiVincenzo for the Rockets. Jeremy Grant for the Spurs. Jarrett Allen will extend for the Suns. That's big news for them. Then Mo Wagner and Brandon Clark for the Thunder. Donsumu and Precious Achua for the Wolves. A ton here for the Blazers. Paul Reed, Ben Simmons, Keldon Johnson, all want minimums. Josh Giddey, Bam, Robert Williams, and Tyler Hero. So that's like a third of their roster, if not more, that will all extend. And then finally, we have Wendell Carter for the Wizards. Next, let's take a look at, before we get to like cap tables and stuff, let's take a look at, we already did standings. I meant to go to stats and check out some league leaders here. Now that Scoot was hurt in that rigged random event, Zion is leading the league in scoring. What a surprise. What a coincidence. Then we have Wemby in second, Moss in third, Jalen Green in fourth, Keontae George, who's still absolutely lighting it up for the Grizzlies. He's at 25.4 points per game. SGA Morant, Doncic, Roy Carney for the Pacers, who's really developed into a solid rookie. He was drafted in 2024, pick 27. So that just goes to show you that you can get good players later. I mean, I don't know if he had any random events or anything off the top of my head, but yeah. Greg Day leading the league in rebounding, followed by Wemby, Mobley, Chet, and Smalls. LaMelo now the only player above 10 assists. Amen and Bilal both averaging 2 steals. Chet still leading the league in blocks, followed closely by Claxton. Amen leading in turnovers, Şengün in fouls. Field goal percentage is the GOAT, Jalen Duren, blowing everyone else out of the water. Over 70% from the field. That's pretty crazy. Taylor Hendricks leading the league in shooting from 3, followed by Jokic, who's having another great shooting season. Bridges, Kispert, Strother, Lewis, Smith Jr., Whitehead, Hardy, Markkanen. Some of the top 3-point shooting in the league. We'll take a look now at every team's stats. Starting off with the Sixers. Oops, let me switch that. Be sure to show the right setting. One thing that could be interesting is if for one of these videos when I show stats, like say the second sim of the season, this one or whatever, if instead of showing regular stats, I showed everyone's per 36 stats. I don't know if that's something that everyone would be interested in, but that's just an idea that popped into my head, and it might be useful because I know I personally use per 36 most of the time to measure how good a player's stats are rather than looking at their actual stats, just because I find it to be easier and more accurate. I mean, if a guy's playing like 2 minutes per game and you look at his per 36, obviously that's going to be kind of messed up, but for the most part, it's a pretty good judge of what they're actually good at. So if someone's playing like 18 a game and I want to figure out, oh, are they actually good at rebounding or not, then I can just check their per 36. So let me know if you guys would be interested in me showing per 36 instead of regular stats, either for every video or for just one of the videos, like for the second sim or whatever, or if that's not something that people want. There's Scoot, who was averaging 30 points per game and 11.5 assists before his injury. RIP. Wemby, who's having a great year. I know the award races were posted to the Discord, but I think he's leading in Defensive Player of the Year. So that's big for him. He deserves some awards for sure. The Pistons, who just traded... Or no, the Pistons actually didn't trade. That was Gordon's other team, the Pacers, who traded for Jamal Murray with the Suns. And I think it's worked out pretty well for the Suns. I mean, I know they were a good team before, but I think they may have even improved a little in the standings. Yeah, there's Simons on the Suns now, averaging 19. The Wolves, who I can't remember if they're the worst team in the league or just the worst team in the West. Either way, very impressive tank job from them. Not like they need to try that hard to tank because they have no really good players at the moment. But yeah, in some ways this season, it's more impressive to be the worst team than the best team because of how many teams are tanking. But let's get to salary cap breakdown now. I don't know if any free agents were really signed, and I don't know if people care that much about free agents at this point in the season, so maybe I'll scroll through them really briefly after this, but yeah. Bulls are 92 over. The Cavs are over the hard cap, but it looks like they have a fair amount of people locked up for the mid to long term. Here's the Celtics, and their star player, Lauren Barnes, got hurt. He was averaging, what was he averaging? Dang, 21 points and 11, almost 12 rebounds before he went out. So he's just another crazy talented player, and he's only going to get better. I mean, that was another number one pick. I don't know if we've had a bad number one pick yet. Maybe one. I can't think of one, so that might be the one that was bad. But then we have Garrison Moss, Lauren Barnes, Colin Freeman, all turning out to be really good players. The Heat, who have a lot of mid-level contracts coming off their books next season, as well as $15 million in cap. It'll be interesting to see what they do, because they'll definitely have some money to pursue one or two decent free agents. The Kings also with 10 in cap. Interesting to see where the Kings are going to go from here, because I know they did trade Edwards and Ingram, but then they acquired Mobley, and Mobley's a fairly good player, so he's kind of preventing them from all-out tanking if that's what they want to do, but at the same time they could just try to flip some other assets and get another star to play alongside Mobley and then really make a push at the playoffs. The Mavs, who are currently the second best team in the league, I believe, behind the Magic. They have 9 losses along with the Magic, but then the Magic have 2 more wins. Pacers, who made that move for Jamal Murray. Still under contract for a few years. He may have signed an extension. The Outlaws, who have one of the cooler names and logos in the league, in my opinion. Here's the Raptors, who I think have the most cap room. Unless the Spurs have more. The Spurs might beat it. They easily beat it. I forget about the Spurs. 63. Hopefully, for the Spurs' sake, there's a good free agent this year, because they're definitely going to have the money. If not, they'll just have to offer a bunch of RFAs and hope that someone forgets to match or doesn't want to match for whatever reason. Wolves with 46, so that's another team. It's really the Spurs, Raptors, and Wolves who are going to have a lot of money and be competing for free agents this year. But this team is not going to be competing for free agents. The Blazers are over the hard cap right now, I believe. Then finally we have the Wizards, who are 30.96 over. Let's see. I'll run through free agents very quickly here. I mean, I guess we'll show... Dang it. Can I get a team with less than 15 players? Dude. I just want to see how much money these guys want. 7.25 for Obi. Bagley wants 3.89. Kersey wants a minimum. Lane wants 5.86. Strus, who has an A in three-point shooting, it says. So if someone wants a shooter, I mean, why not go for Strus? But yeah, there is some of the free agents. I'll look at Beauchamp, minimum. Any good young guys worth signing? Luis Graves, B-. I scroll so you could see what all the teams think his potential is, but he's 73. If someone wants to take a flyer on him or any of those other guys. But let's see, I think I've shown everything that we need to show in this video. I guess we'll take a look at the new power rankings very briefly. I know big boy Brian Windhorst has been too busy to write more detailed power rankings, but hopefully he can get around to that next season again or something. Take a look at a couple team stats here for those that care, and then we will end the video. So points per game, the Mavs are leading the way, followed by the Jazz, Cavs, Blazers, Magic. A lot of good teams at the top in terms of points per game. So it looks like you have to score generally if you want to be good. Points allowed per game. The best defense is currently the Suns. And some of the worst defenses, the Thunder. Differential, the Magic are leading the way at 15.4. And the Bucks have the worst differential. We'll check field goal percentage. Dang, the Magic are shooting well over 50%. And the Bucks are shooting the worst. For 3-point percent, the Mavs are the best and the Bucks are the worst. Bucks are the worst at a lot of things. Pretty crazy. And I guess we'll check assists and scroll so you guys can see. Sorry, I know it's kind of fast, but you just have to slow down the video, I guess. Any other interesting stats? I don't really think so. I mean, there's stuff like this, second chance points. What's PIP? Points in the paint. Stuff like that, but nothing that I think will matter too much to people. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video. I'll show very quickly award races as well, although you can see all that in the Discord. Sixth man, Tyler Hero might not win it this year for a change. It might be Vamilton Pessoa of the Magic, who's having a good season. Wemby, Defensive Player of the Year. Crazy that it's not Chet, you know? I mean, I'm happy to see Wemby win it, but Chet is leading the league in blocks. Clutch player is Jalen Green, currently. A lot of good names on this list. So yeah, that'll do it. We sent All-Stars in the Discord if you care. And the next deadline, including the trade deadline, will be on Wednesday night, I believe. So good luck to everyone, and we will see you then.